Hey everyone, I thought I'd give this video thing out a try even though I hate the sound of my own voice.
Is that my voice? Is that my voice? Oh well.
I wanted to bring up a topic that's brought up a lot in health and fitness spaces, and that's the topic of motivation. I've talked about it, Mike's talked about it, several people in Gain Trust have talked about it, so I know it's out there. But I wanted to chat briefly about why change can be so difficult and why motivation seems to come and go, and what we could do maybe to increase our motivation. If I haven't told you for the 50th time, I work with clients who are struggling with addiction and recovery issues. So we talk a lot about motivation and sobriety. An important part of sobriety is staying sober regardless if motivation is there. Motivation's nice, but it's not always something that you can control. However, that's not to say that you can't play a role in cultivating some of your motivation. Now you might be saying, what does addiction have to do with health and fitness? Well, both at fundamental levels deal with change, the discomfort that can come with change, and relapsing into bad habits and so forth. This is not to say that drugs and alcohol have the same intense chemical reactions on the brain as, say, a sedentary lifestyle, but they do have a lot of overlap. Many of y'all are making big lifestyle changes in 2023, and I think some of these tools could help benefit you in that change. Whether that's exercising, adjusting your diet, putting on muscle, or losing weight, all of these things are going to require you to step out of your comfort zone a bit and establish a new comfort zone. That can be uncomfortable at best or crippling at worst. This is especially true if you're like me, someone who's never really been in shape before. I wouldn't say I've arrived at being in shape, but I've been with Gain Trust for almost a year and I'm down about 70 pounds, so I feel like I'm getting there. I wanted to bring up two topics: the stages of change and a motivation technique that I think could help tip you towards moving forward with your goals when the motivation's not there. The stages of change is based on a trans-theoretical model of behavioral change. It essentially states that people are more cycle-oriented in changing their behaviors, and that true behavioral change doesn't come easily or quickly. So right then and there, give yourself some grace. The reason why it isn't easy to change is because no one changes their behavior quickly or easily. Before I go any further, I just want to let you know that this is just a model. It's not something to be taken as gospel truth. It's just a way of framing what change could look like for you. Having said that, here are the 6 stages of change. The first stage is the pre-contemplation stage. This is the stage where people are unaware of their desire or need to change. In my field, that usually means friends and family members have noticed the destructive behaviors of drug addiction, but the person just might not be aware of what's going on. Essentially, they're in denial, which is a defense mechanism. This is the brain's way of protecting itself from discomfort, and it can happen without the person even knowing they're doing it. The next stage is the contemplation stage. This is where people are being confronted with the reality of their choices, and their behaviors are beginning to conflict with the direction they want their lives to go in. They might say, this 10th DUI, I think I might have a problem. In health and fitness, this could mean going up a pant or dress size for the second time in a year. About a year and a half ago, I lost about 25 pounds just walking a lot while working in a hospital. After I quit that job, I thought I was still doing well, but once I got back on the scale, I realized I'd gained all that weight back. I was in some form of denial. The next stage is the preparation stage. This is the stage where you begin to take action steps and plan ahead. For someone with an addiction problem, it might be researching where the detox center is, or a rehab or an outpatient center is. Maybe it's finding a therapist. Maybe it's researching what addiction is online. For health and fitness, this might be you've started following people on Twitter or Instagram or other social media models. Maybe you've been watching YouTube videos on how to get in shape or what proper form looks like in the gym. Maybe you've seen certain posts about a certain Discord fitness community. Or maybe you've accepted the invite to Gain Trust and you're just kind of checking it out. The next stage is the action stage. This is simply the stage where people act on what they did in the prep stage. They either go into rehab or they seek treatment in outpatient services, or they see a therapist. In health and fitness, maybe you've bought a membership to Gain Trust or to a gym. Maybe you're in Gain Trust and you're starting a new workout program. Or maybe you've been in Gain Trust for a while and now you've started to track your calories, increase your protein, or track your progress on the Google Sheets documents provided for you. Or maybe you're just simply doing more cardio.
Why cardio?
Yeah, no, don't put me down for cardio.
The next stage is the maintenance stage. This is the stage where you have maintained changed behaviors for at least 6 months. Now, I don't want that to discourage you. 6 months may seem like a long time, and it can be. But when it comes to long-term change, it helps to really frame it as my only goal is today. Today might be back day or leg day or push or pull day. Maybe today you're just going to choose to eat healthier. Maybe you're posting your workouts on the Discord server for coaches to check your form to see if you're doing it correctly. 6 months will come. In fact, 6 months is heading your way anyway. You might as well start making better changes today. The next stage is interesting. It's the termination stage, and I've seen it portrayed as behavioral changes that you made are now permanent or that you relapse into old habits. I think it's just important just to focus on the first 5 stages that we just talked about. Now, these stages of change aren't linear. You could fall back into any one of these stages, or you could progress forward in any one of these stages. For you, you might fall off your diet and then get right back on it.
I love chocolate.
You might mentally go back to the pre-contemplation stage. Maybe after a couple of weeks of the workout, you're thinking, this is a little too much. I didn't need to change that much. I just needed to make small changes. It's not a black and white framework, so don't assimilate this as the absolute truth on what's change can look like. Think of this model as more of a tool that can help you make changes. Now, as I close, I wanted to talk about the ambivalence to change, or the mixed feelings about change, which is completely normal. Even in the face of the crippling consequences of one's decisions, people can still have mixed feelings about change. Again, that's normal. When it comes to health and fitness, you've grown accustomed to your lifestyle, even if you're not happy with where you're at. It's predictable, it's comfortable, you know what to expect. For me, I love Chinese buffets. I still do.
Whatever, I'm getting cheese fries.
But I also didn't like what I saw in the mirror. You might have gotten so used to your lifestyle choices that you can't really imagine life without these unwise habits. Again, all of this is normal. When you're stuck in the midst of this ambivalence to change, this tool that we're going to go through in a second is called the pros and cons of change, and it could be beneficial for you. I provided a blank form of this in the post below called the pros and cons of change. This isn't rocket science or brain surgery. It's just going to ask you some questions that maybe you've not entertained before. So here we go. The first question is going to be, what are the benefits of quitting or changing? Okay. This could be starting a new exercise program, cleaning up your diet, increasing your protein intake, whatever that is. Now it's going to ask you, what are the drawbacks of quitting or changing? This is where my clients in rehab usually say, well, there are no drawbacks of quitting drugs and alcohol. They've ruined my life. While that may be true, they're denying the reason why they became addicted in the first place. Maybe drugs and alcohol took away some negative emotions, memories, or guilt. Maybe it enhanced their performance or enhanced positive emotions. Maybe it was just something they did to kind of cure their boredom. The same with unhealthy lifestyle choices. On many levels, a sedentary lifestyle in the short term is fun. Eating whatever you want or binging whatever you want. Also, be honest with yourself. The drawbacks of quitting or changing usually come with discomfort. You're going to be uncomfortable at times. If you aren't anticipating some discomfort about these changes you're making in 2023, you could be a little too optimistic and could be setting yourself up for failure. If you go ahead and accept the fact that change will come with some discomfort, then it won't be a total shock to your system when it does. The next question is, what are the benefits of continuing these unhealthy habits? And then, what are the drawbacks of continuing these unhealthy habits? These might seem like the same questions, but if you really take some time to think about them, you might be surprised at what you come up with. Now, before I go, I'll leave you with a bonus tool, and it's posted in PDF form below. What you need to do is just set aside some time and answer the questions honestly. The pros and cons list and this exercise that I just talked about are meant to be read whenever your motivation is low or non-existent. The goal is that hopefully as you read this, your brain will be reminded of why you're doing this in the first place. Well, that's all I have for this post, so feel free to DM me if you have any questions, and good luck out there.